This is not going to be a long live. This is definitely going to be a little interactive. And I don't upload every day just because I work a lot. I do other things and I can be extremely tired. Sometimes I really just want to relax. And when you're talking all day for work, sometimes you just want to let your voice rest and not have to think too hard when you get home. But sometimes things happen. And of course, my mind is always percolating. I always have ideas and I share what I can. And I do like this channel. I'll probably change the banner a little bit. I'm still under construction. Okay. As you can see my mind working 100 miles an hour sometimes with this channel, but I like to make it interesting and change things up. And, you know, I have my original banners. And although I do teach, you know, current events, things that could help holistically, I do take parts of my life story. It's not always very all encompassing. Also, people, you know, they'll take every little thing I say and make it like super personal. I could be even taking things that I see out in the world too. But as long as I have some type of relation, it could be, you know, a second, third relation to the situation, or I could have firsthand knowledge. You know, it's something that I have some type of experience with. It doesn't have to mean that it is happening today, currently. It could have happened years ago, and I'm sharing, okay? So yes, my thumbnail, that's from the dispensary, you know, the place that you go when you're feeling sad and you feel like you're gonna, you know, trauma dump, and you know, we're gonna have to like invent some more words, right? Trauma torch people all day, every day. It can be really exhausting, especially for people who mean you no harm. And no one's perfect. You know, I was younger once and, you know, dealing with a lot of stuff, and I have my own, you know, hard knock life stories too, but I try not to just, you know, stand on that and define my whole life by that, you know, because I know that it's so much more to life, and you can turn those adversities into actions, into achievements. Okay. You don't have to be stuck forever in that mode. So I'm going to go in and get myself a latte. You guys can come with me. Make sure you say hi. Hi, I'll make sure to put the camera back up. It's just when I'm going inside the store in public, I, you know, am very careful to be respectful. I don't want people thinking I'm undercover recording the place. Hi, how are you? So if you're going to troll my chat, if you're going to ask me to say anything, see, this is how I'm going to start doing it with some of you. You funny fugazis. You're going to start hitting my Cash App. If you want me to say anything, I mean, I don't know if you're trying to have me do a shout out, whatever. I am not a parrot. I know sometimes you guys like to spam my chat and just say stupid stuff. Say this, say that. I'm not your damn parrot. You can, why don't you go visit my Cash App right now, since you're expecting me to do something. What's next? I'm going to click my heels. Diana, do you know how to spell that? Do you know how to spell Diana? -7 on Cash App or PayPal. Please don't mistake my kindness for suckerness, whatever you thought. Please keep it respectful on my channel, okay? I'll either ignore you or refer you to my Cash App. You're gonna pay me for some of this baloney, damn clowns. Refer to the thumbnail. Hi, beautiful. I'm just getting my cafe. Please, and thank you. No, we'll keep it one shot. I'm already spunky enough. We don't want to over-caffeinate me. Might be dangerous for everyone else.
I've drank 2 cups of coffee today. I think
Did you?
I'm like starting to die out.
Yeah. Especially when you're already working too hard.
Today it's only been 2 to 6.
Oh,
light
good.
Alright, 576.
You're lovely. Here's your tip. Always appreciate you.
first.
Wow.
How's Amari?
Doing amazing. I'm going to see her in a few days. I'm very happy about that.
That'll be
We're
fun.
gonna,
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to take her out to eat.
Ooh, where you going?
Mesa.
Ooh.
They have great margaritas. And we got so good. Prices are awesome. Drinks are great. Yep. It's local, and the food's good. I like to get the flatbread, the California flatbread with the chicken on it. They have the best brick oven pizzas there too. And yeah, I see girls doing girls' nights there. They were near under my table. They were all doing like, that's cute, you know. So it's a nice spot, like a pre-game spot. Or if you're on your way home and you went out shopping and you want to just like go eat with your girls before you go home, very affordable. Yeah. So we'll do that, and whatever she wants to do, we can show. I'm trying to get a hair appointment in on Monday, but of course my hairdresser's on vacation, so she's gonna let me know by Saturday night. And if I have to go, Miss Amari can come with me, and I can introduce her to my hairdresser and be like, hey, instead of always paying those expensive city prices, major city prices up north, come down here and get your hair done. I always give her my networking meetings, but we'll see how it goes. I ordered her a hat and a t-shirt that says Ferrari for our last name.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't forget my name, you know, together, Dad last name. You got any plans with the boyfriend this weekend?
I'm actually going to see today.
Oh,
Our gallery.
yay. Well, I hope you have fun. When is it? Oh, your birthday's coming up too?
So we're going to the zoo on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, what are you gonna be like, 18?
Right, 23.
23. Oh my gosh, well you could pass for 18. Oh my gosh. Years ago, yeah, because yeah. You guys would be the same, you two would be the same age. I don't know how much. I don't know. You could have been a few years behind her. I don't know anything. Bye ladies, have a great night. So, yes, that was just me talking to the neighborhood girlies and just asking some questions. I don't mind that. I'm leaving the store right now. We can finish this up. Hola, buenas vida. Oh, you've been today so pretty. Bye. I'm just trying to make my way out because every little person like that knows me is like, we'll stop and we'll talk for another 10, 15 minutes. It's like, that's where I am everywhere. It's like, I feel like, the honorary mayor in a way. More like Miss Humanitarian. I don't know. Miss America, I guess, in my own way. That's what I call my daughter. That's what she was called. But anyways, this is not going to be a long video now that I have a little bit more time to speak. Hopefully it's not anybody that is trying to give me stress, trying to troll me. I think it's just so egregious. I don't know what about me that makes the sad clowns come around. And guys, you have to be really, really stern. I like to get along with people, but when I see that people are coming around looking for a show, I just shut it down. I go on mute mode. I just look at them crazy. I just let them sabotage themselves, you know what I mean? Because it's silly. Because there's so many people that I know that went through real adversity, went through real hard stuff, and don't make that as an excuse to treat people like ass. Make sure you like the video if you're in my chat. I don't like loiterers that are in my chat that do not even like the video. It's really annoying. Either like it or leave. Make sure you like it or leave. And who is this? Who says I'm in my parents' house? Again, who are you, you freaking loser, Larry? I know you wish you had a woman call your name. I'm sure that hasn't happened in years. I'm sure she'd need a hazmat suit to touch you. And I know the thumbnail is what attracted you to this channel. I haven't lived with my parents since my early 20s, you stupid piece of shit. So much
for what you know. So stop coming over here and embarrassing yourself. Seriously. Once you're taking a break from playing with yourself and you're going online and you're saying incorrect things to somebody. Where's the proof? I think you need to get some help. Okay? Really, your hobby. What is this? It's really interesting, some of the people that come on here. Yeah, because I call out some of you sad clowns. Because you're so freaking miserable, right? That you like to treat people, or especially women, who would like never give you the time of day, right? Because you're probably like so offensive that in public women run from you. So you feel like a semblance of a man, even though you're a maggot, to come online and be like, hey, let me just bother this woman just because I feel like I have this little protection of anonymity, right? With your freaking micro peen. Why don't you go worry about your problems instead of lying on people's channels? This freaking loser, guys. This is the sad clowns I'm talking about. Living in my parents' house. You probably freaking live in a doghouse, okay? Are you freaking kidding me? So get away. Again, just proving my point more. So guys, a lot of people, because they can't deal with the mediocre existence that they have, maybe they're just such shitty people. As you girls can see, you can check out my chat and see that, hey, all you have to do is fire up a live and look at these cockroaches that come out of nowhere. I don't see women on here giving me grief. Okay, so what is your problem? Obviously, you're proving my case to be correct, is what you're doing. Because I don't care about your problems if you're taking your freedom, the time that you have on this earth, to bother women that got nothing to do with you. That's what I'm saying. That did nothing to you, that don't bother you, right? But you're going to spend time to try to make somebody's day annoyed. I'm sure you're terrible to work with if you even have a job, right? You probably don't know how to conduct yourself. And that's why there's a lot of guys out there who are struggling, because a lot of women have positions of power. A lot of women are also owners of businesses. And eventually your name will go up to HR, you know what I mean? And it's duly noted and people know what it is. And you know what I mean? You're on borrowed time, half of you, that's fine. Nobody cares, because the time of giving women needless shit for no reason is over. I really think that some of you guys need to catch up. You really need to catch up, because you're gonna be hurting really bad. Personally, professionally, in every way possible, because many of the population is women. So to just constantly think you're going to stress us out and disrespect us and, you know, just suck each other's off in your little boy chats and stuff. It's interesting to see that there's a lot of guys who would rather support other guys. And that's fine if you're gay. You know what I mean? Just come out and say that. I'm starting to think that like 75% of the population is gay. I'm really starting to see that. I think a lot of it is repressed. I think a lot of you guys, you know, have some secrets, maybe from the military, all of that stuff. You're too groomed just to be comfortable around men. Then you do not know how to act around women. You know what I mean? Just come out. It's obvious what it is. Where women can try to be nice to you, and just because they're not gonna tolerate your disrespect, why should they? Who are you to them? Okay, are you anyone that has any status in their life, that has any actual effect in their life? So who the hell are you? Are you the one that signs their check? Are you the one that keeps the lights on? Okay, in the building, in the office, in the business? Most likely not, okay? You're just another pleb, all right? But you work in an establishment and you see women there, so you think, what, that's going to be slim pickings? That's going to be easy pickings? I think not, okay?
And it's funny too that a lot of guys will try to, you know, come down hard on girls and stuff and say, you know, you're this, you're a bimbo. You know, if you're too nice, right, then you got to be a bitch, you know, to show that you're not a bimbo. Okay, that's pretty sad that you have to show the other side of the coin, right, to let them know that you mean business. Because sadly, these sad clowns you can't be nice to, because you know everyone wants to use their trauma as a crutch. But now if you're acting like a mean piece of shit, then frankly people are just going to be happy that bad things happen to you. Okay, and this is not to take away from anyone's trauma. If you were a minor and you know you had some tough things happen, okay, fine. But I know little girls who have been stalked and abused by grown men, you know, bigger and badder adversaries. But I'm still hearing grown men cry and act rude and abusive to women in the workplace. And then when they get chastised, want to turn around and act like, oh, their mommy was so abusive to them. What the F does that got to do with the general public, pray tell? That's when it really starts hitting the fan. Like, you know what? This person has been using this excuse for too long. Probably their whole damn life. And that may be convenient to a point. But you know what? People are going to see through that. Because I know people who went through hell and they made a life for themselves, okay? They made business for themselves. They know how to treat people with respect. And hey, everybody's entitled to their thoughts. You can think whatever you want about people, okay? But that's the thing. It's very different when you think about it, and it's another thing to say it. And there's one thing to say it, and then there's another thing to do it. Do you understand? There has to take a lot of premeditation. And I know people like, oh, this person don't have a filter. That doesn't really give much of an excuse to that person. Okay? Because you can learn self-control. Not having a filter at all, we've all been there. It's just indicative of you lacking self-control. So if you cannot control your mouth, maybe you can't control your hands. Maybe you can't even control your feet. Exactly. So that says a lot, especially when men want to have the label of being stoic. Then please act accordingly. Actually own up to that label instead of being erratic, overly emotional, and very unhinged. To the point that, okay, if you see someone making a mistake, you're going to go out of your way to call them names. And then if you're a little bit of gruff, then you're trying to bring kids into it and trying to make it personal. Where I come from, you be dragged by your freaking nostrils, seriously. Okay, outside. And I don't care who you are. I think no matter what culture you're dealing with, I think we can all agree that, like, once you start bringing kids into it, then you're trying to go for the jugular. Then you're telling me I should go for your, that's what it's telling me. Because there's no way that could be deemed as, oh, just banter, or, you know, you're being too sensitive, or whatever else, okay? That is a big, big discrepancy. And that's a lot of people's problems. You know, they want to, you know, this is a generation that it's like, oh my gosh, you know, my trauma is worse than your trauma. And it's like, listen, I'm all about whoever hurt you, you make that person accountable, or you don't deal with them anymore. But that gives you no license now to project on anyone that you think reminds you of said person, where you can just unleash, because all that's going to do is sabotage your life, is going to ruin your own life. Okay? And you're going to continue to spiral out of control, is all I'm saying. And you have nobody to blame but yourself, because some people's worst enemy is themselves. Okay? They actually feel comfortable in that role. They want to play Ronald McDonald, okay? And you can't even try to educate and try to expound upon topics without the sad clowns. You know, how much better could the world be if they took a little bit of their time, like I'm doing right now after working a whole day, to pour into something that could actually be meaningful? Like, you know, maybe making people think about stuff a little bit past the surface level. Even if they're too embarrassed to speak of it, they can listen to a message, they can listen to a podcast, and they can be like, you know what? You know, maybe I don't want to be a damn sad clown forever. Like, how long can you go on with that persona? Okay, because it really is so damn sad. It's sad. And not just that, you know what I mean? Making a whole campaign and always just attacking certain people, some people's channels and everything else. It says more about the person doing it. It just shows more about the clown-ish that's going on. And that's acceptable. People are literally getting all emotionally invested in having like online battles with people that would never meet them and never know them. And like, and it's very, very foolish where people get that intertwined in people's lives like that. Okay. That's what I think. And I think it comes from a place where they felt hurt. And now they're living their whole life trying to hurt others. And I think that's the biggest clown move of them all, is what I'm saying. That's what I think. But again, to bother people, come on. And especially if you're out in the world and you see people and you can be in different settings, and then you have, you know, certain individuals always making maybe bad jokes in professional situations. Like, you know that they can't even control their mood. They can't control their dialogue or any of that. And they should realize where they are, but they can't even do that much. So that right there is a character flaw, you know, because especially now in this generation, it's so much easier. I know people say, oh, they have it harder too. Please, you can go right to a freaking dispensary if you're feeling sad and go get your little medication to go calm the hell down without fear, pray tell, okay, of getting prosecuted. A lot of us did more good with our advocacies and our freaking strong spirit, okay, and our boldness. And I've been told, oh, I yap too much, I talk too much. You know what? That's what needed to be done, and put in my pen to paper to actually make some meaningful change in our backyard, instead of sitting around like a bunch of gumps talking about, oh, this country did this to their people, so we need to bomb them. We need to do this. Now, isn't this the same shit? Like, you're living in your house and your neighbors, it's like having spyware on the neighbor's house or being in your yard and like being so focused on everything they're doing and living your whole life through what your neighbors are doing. Meanwhile, your house is full of mold. Okay, you got violence in your house. People are getting sick. Your roof is falling apart. That's what it sounds like when I see people, everyday people, some even in the military, talking all this rah stuff. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do about it? Pretty much nothing. And why do you worry about what's in your own backyard? Doing all this talk, but a lot of us help move the needle where, oh, we've changed the course in your own homeland, where some states now are making it so much more comfortable for you all. But a lot of that work was from Gen X having to push the freaking needle forward and to dash all of the damn prejudices, okay? And the owner of the local dispensary, he was actually someone I went to high school with, also a Gen Xer, which I can appreciate. And he's hired many people, okay? And I think that is a way to help the community too. It has put these freaking dirtbag drug dealers out of business, where it actually forced a lot of the drug dealers to have to go get a job and to not try to, let's see, try to use what they perceive as having some type of monopoly over certain products or whatever, and you know, being shady. Like, who the hell wants to deal with shady freaking characters? You know what I mean? A lot of those people had to move and go somewhere else and actually do something with their life, which is awesome, which is so funny for me to see. Okay, because a lot of them weren't doing shit with their life in the first place. Okay, but trying to use certain things to try to what, instead of being professional, they will try to use that to groom different people, right? Like, we already know the stories. So enough of that shit. This generation is done with all of that nonsense. Okay, and if you got to be, you know, big and bad, and people are gonna talk whatever, that's fine, because a lot of these clowns just want to try to victimize you because they're a perpetual victim. They're never gonna get better. They don't want to get better. Okay, there is no getting better for some of these people. They enjoy it. That's their whole persona, and everything that comes out of their mouth is gonna be some clown trash. It's gonna be like a rude joke, a rude comment. It's going to be something trying to be contrary. And it's like, people like that, at the end of the day, the world is not going to miss it. Like, you know what I mean? You're not even worth the dust you're going to turn into when it's all over. You know what I mean? It's good. Like, some people, it's just going to be a blessing when they're gone, you know, because of the way they act constantly, just living to be evil constantly, even when given an opportunity. Some people, you can give them an opportunity and they should be so appreciative and be like, hey, you know, I could try to be positive because, you know, God has given me this blessing. But a lot of people are so damn godless and they're evil and they're screwed up in the head. That's why a lot of people in the military and the police force, they need to be psychologically evaluated, like, through and through. Now, if you start hearing that they had all this shit and it comes across that they have issues, personal issues with people because of people in their family, and they have a hard time delineating that, you need to be really careful. I think that's why it's a joke when some of them are like, oh, you should care because they're doing all this stuff to the women in Iran and their rights are taken away. You know, these are the people making excuses because they really want to go overseas to hurt people, because these same guys treat women like trash in America. So stop playing like you give two F's what happens to the women overseas. You don't give two F's. Okay, lies. They're just looking for their loans for their homes or whatever. I hear all the talk. You just want to see what you can get out of it. You're looking for your little pension. You don't give a shit who you gotta kill, who you gotta freaking hurt. So please, please don't, because a lot of that is just trash. Okay, this freaking pervert, I probably got a freaking would-be. All you would-be weird racist, get the hell off my channel, okay? I can already tell who you are. Get the hell out of here. You don't know who you're talking to. You're just gonna come over here and just blindly make lies. Oh, I bet you're still living with your parents. My mother's 83, you cocksucker, all the way in Florida, and has a better life than you. Yes, exactly. She's living her best life better than you. Now what? You're gonna say something about her too, you freaking loser? A lot of you guys, the more you wish harm on women, the more they're gonna freaking lap around you and do way better, okay? And it doesn't have to be in your presence. No matter where they go, they're gonna be protected, all right? Especially if you have a good spirit. And I can appreciate the good guys because I do work with some good guys too, and we don't always have to get along on every little thing. And no, I'm not like this little fragile piece of glass, and I can get along with whoever and joke. And as long as you treat me like a human being, I'll treat you like a human being. That's totally fine. Okay, so there's a lot of people that can attest that. Yeah, you know what I mean? We can disagree and still find a common ground. Okay, that's really important. Is that that's too hard for some of you guys. I understand that, because clowns do not know anything about compromise, anything about what's going on with other people,
right? They don't even know what's going on in their own backyard in America. They're so worried about, oh, this one's doing this over there. Like all of the damn experiments that's probably been done to you here. I'm not going to go there. And there's no reason to talk about politics and this and that if you're just going to use it to bait people for a fight. Nobody cares. What does that have to do with anything at the end of the day? It's baiting questions, and it's very inappropriate. Okay. Especially like places like work or if you're dealing with clients or anything like that. If anyone brings that up, I'm like, what does that have to do with this job per se? Was that in the job description? Oh no, then shut up. We don't need to be talking about any of that. Okay. Because the people who scream the loudest and say the most and think they're uber patriotic have not done any deep dive history into their own country, into their own backyard, and all the human rights violations that's been done right here. Okay. They won't talk about the Tuskegee experiment. They won't talk about, a lot of the radioactive issues in the water, cell phone towers, how people have been hurt against their will, how their rights have been stripped. So many things, so many stories are coming out because more people, they're getting emboldened. Maybe they're watching some of our channels and they're like, oh my gosh, this is stirring my spirit. And you're going to see it. And I'm seeing it like clockwork. People are uploading, they're sharing, and it's going to continue. And I'm all about, listen, you make whoever accountable, but that doesn't give us a right to treat whoever terribly because you're going through something. Obviously work through that. Make the person who hurt you responsible, or the organization that they represented, and at least keep it on target. But now you're going to treat whoever like that person. That is egregious. And that's what a lot of people do. All right. They have issues with their own mother. That's the issue, which is a problem in itself. If some of the women knew how some of these kids felt about them, they would have aborted these fuckers a long time ago. Okay. They really would have, because a lot of these guys ended up not being freaking good people at all. And if it was just going to be the woman giving birth to yet another abuser, that's the saddest shit of them all. That's the saddest shit to me of them all, is when a woman gives birth to a guy who mimics the same shit maybe, the abusive father was doing or whatever. Like, that's the worst. And it's not easy being a mom. And I can imagine, because I hear the stories. But you know what? A lot of these people only bring up those stories after they hurt somebody and when they're facing real consequences. Then all of a sudden, you never heard about it before, but all of a sudden, oh, this happened to me when I was this. It's like, sir, you know what kind of shit happened to me? And I was a single mom and I had to do it, all this stuff. I'm sorry. Some of us women, our ovaries are bigger than your balls. Okay. It's been said. It is what it is. Okay. Don't even go there with me. Okay. And a lot of the Greek statues will show you that's what it is. That's why all their little privates are like freaking 1 inch big. Like, please save it. What's a woman going to do with half of the shit you guys have to offer? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. And you can save that hate. Okay. For a bigger and badder opponent. It's funny. You got all that hate. I would love someone to go pick some of these guys. Why don't you go take all that energy and go pick on like a big muscle head? Okay. Why don't you go do that? Oh, it's never that though. It's always on like, it's always, weaker or, women or whatever. It's pathetic to me. It's true. It's really, truly gay, because if you think that that a woman is a worthy opponent, it's because you think a woman. A real man would not look at a woman as an opponent to that extent. Obviously, they're the ones who are so envious and everything else. And a lot of the times, the women who do that junk, it's because they got treated really, really, really horribly by men, and to make themselves like, really unattractive to men.
They're trying to blend in with a man. You know what I'm trying to say? It's never why a man would want to do it. When a man tries to do it, he thinks he's a bad bitch. You got them up here freaking, you know what I mean, swaying their hips, shit, right? Trying to really own the role, right? Own the part, right? It's very tragic. So that right there tells you, right, that the mind of the man is very warped. Okay, I know they want to blame everything on women. That's a freaking joke, right? And that's like with anybody in their household, right? You should be wanting to protect everybody under you. All right, I was a babysitter for a long time as a teenager. I had younger children. I made sure to protect them and to care for them, and I knew, you know, how far to take it. I wasn't going to be all like extra, okay? But it's really sad now that it's like us women, we're supposed to do all these things, right? Or maybe it's just some of us. Maybe it's the ones who have the heart to actually stand up for what's right. Those are the women who always get the brunt of it. I mean, years ago, you know, they were trying to burn women who were successful or who were not married as witches. Are you kidding me? No, I'm sorry. This is the generation of the women who heard all of those stories and were aggrieved at that and can see how that can happen. And that shit is just not going to fly. So if you think this channel was a safe haven for you sad clowns, yeah, we're going to see what's what around here. Okay, you're gonna leave here crying more than you came in. Okay, you can go suck on your lemons instead of making them into lemonade. You want to just suck on them and have your eyes water, right? Because you like stuff in your mouth. You just want to suck on them and suck on them until your eyes cry, right? That's what you want to do. It's not going to work here, and I'm going to keep being as tough as I can because I can tell who is here just trying to loiter on my channel. Okay, this is not a bus stop for bums. Sorry, it's not going to work like that. And I've done a lot of educational videos and I'll continue to, but I'm not going to entertain clowns. No, actually, clowns, you should be entertaining the public. Why don't you go find some big rubber shoes to put on, big red nose, okay, and do something with yourself. Start a channel, okay, and have it called Larry the Clown, and that's the only shout out you're gonna get, you freaking sad piece of shit. All right, you're probably overweight, gross. I'd like to see a picture of you. That's why you don't have a picture. Or you could be like a creepy family member who needs to go to therapy for incest. I don't know. Maybe you're one of them that loves to troll my channel and really needs to get, you know what I mean, a lobotomy. Okay, something. That's what I'm starting to think too. Pretty sad. And a lot of flying monkeys as well. But guys, yes, sad clowns, they use any excuse to try to hurt others. And, you know, when the person is innocent and they do it because a lot of them are sadists, let's be clear. And, you know, they can't say that the person did anything to them. What they will do is now all of a sudden revert to, oh, I had such a sad life and all of this stuff. It's like, yeah, you don't know what people around you could have went through. They could have went through way worse than you. You know what I mean? And still not act like a freaking piece of trash. Now what you're gonna do? You're gonna look like a freaking idiot, okay? Because there's people that go through stuff all the time and have that persona, have that strong persona because they have to, okay? Because they're not gonna be taken for a fool. And that includes women, if you want to believe that or not. And a woman, just because she's not going to laugh at your mean-spirited jokes. It's like a lot of these guys want to be mean girls so freaking bad that as soon as we're like, yeah, I know, it's not funny, then all of a sudden, oh, you're this. Or, you know, try to say you're sensitive. Or they'll try to double down. And now they're going to say something about one of your family members or try to bring it more personal. I'm like, oh my gosh, your teeth should be on the ground right now. Like, what are we talking about right now? And keep pressing me, okay? Keep pressing me, all right? I'll go so fast to the police station. And then what?
And then we'll see how far you're going to go there. Okay. And yeah, no, do I trust them for every little thing? No. But I do know that a lot of things were not reported when they should have been reported right when they happen. So be smart and know that, hey, someone wants to push it too far and they don't have any remorse. Be like, okay, I'm not going to get any recourse. Maybe it could be your work. Maybe it could be a school, whatever. Okay, fine. You think you're going to be protected behind a banner? Okay, well, I will get you in your private capacity, because wherever you are responsible for your behavior, regardless of what you are. Okay. No one cares about your mommy and daddy stories. Okay. If you're over 21, no one wants to hear about that. People lost their parents at infancy. Some people don't even know their parents. Some people never even met them. Okay. You know how many variations of stories that I've heard? I know kids who have been raised in damn foster care and then went to college after. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. If you're a piece of shit, just say that. You're a piece of shit. Okay. And just because somebody's calling out, you don't got to go redirect now. Okay. Oh, they're sensitive, or try to slam someone's channel. Oh, can you repeat this for me? Can you do that? Can you go freaking kill yourself right now and get the hell out of here? Get the hell on. And I doubt anybody will miss you. Okay, I just left work. What the F are you doing? Why are you loitering on people's pages? You need to really ask yourself what the F you're doing with your whole life. Seriously, okay? And pretending for the public isn't going to fix it. Obviously, what you do in your spare time is really who you are, okay? And that's all there is to it, all right? Really sad. And some people, that's their only identity, is to be a sad clown. To me, that's not cool. I'm sorry. It's not cool. All right. Enjoy it. Try to have some dignity about yourself. All right. At least go out there and make a movie or get paid dressing up as a stupid ass clown. Okay. Instead of really just embodying that as a freaking personality. How pathetic. Hope you guys have a great